Isla Negra is a small village on the coast of central Chile. These villagers are a simple people whose lives are still ruled by the changing seasons and the whims of the sea. To survive, many must wage a daily battle with fierce ocean currents, while others risk their lives gathering sea urchins and clams along the rocky shore. In the quiet countryside, some villagers farm small plots of land. Isla Negra is one of a string of hamlets along this rugged coastline. Chile is a long, narrow country in South America hemmed in by the Andes Mountains and the Pacific Ocean, with a coastline that stretches almost 3,000 miles. A few hundred miles inland is Santiago, Chile's capital, a bustling city of 5 million inhabitants. In the summer, thousands of Santiago residents escape the city and head for one of these hamlets, changing them from sleepy villages to fashionable summer resorts. But few vacationers choose Isla Negra. They are driven away by its sharp rocks and wild surf. But there are those who do come. Many artists and poets have made their home here, drawn by that very wildness. They say Isla Negra holds a special magic. That magic is woven into this story. The story of a group of simple peasant women in Isla Negra who, for years, have quietly stitched their lives and dreams into tapestries of magic wool.
Cromáticas artesanas de la lana, paisajistas intuitivas de la vida, isleñas recolectoras.
Manuela Pérez, an Isla Negra villager, comes from a long line of local peasant families who, for generations, have made a meager living from the land and the sea. Every day, Manuela leaves her small cottage in the village and walks a few blocks to care for the home of a well-to-do summer resident. Years ago, Manuela cared for the home of Chilean poet and Nobel Prize winner Pablo Neruda, who made Isla Negra famous by living here. Neruda named the place Isla Negra, or Black Island, after this dark rock jutting out of the foam. Manuela can barely read or write, but she has also brought fame to Isla Negra. She is an artist, and her work has been acclaimed worldwide as a form of primitive art. But there is more. In this village of 500 people, more than 50 other women are as talented and as famous as Manuela. Tapestries like these, stitched in wool, showing scenes and dreams from the women's daily lives, have been exhibited in art galleries in Latin America, Europe, Japan, and the United States.
Cromáticas artesanas de la lana, paisajistas intuitivas de la vida, isleñas recolectoras del color, que hacen la vida como hacen su labor. Clava la aguja, tira la hebra, bordadoras de Isla Negra. Clava la aguja en la blanca tela, borda colores con los que sueñan. Siembra puntadas sobre la falda, mientras te cae el sol en la espalda. Borda la tierra, borda la mar, para ganarte el honrado pan. Doña Leonor trae lana y esperanza, porque estas manos morenas no descansan. Tardes de otoño, tardes de invierno, bordan futuro, bordan recuerdo. Clava la aguja, tira la hebra, bordadoras de Isla Negra, siempre montada sobre la falda, mientras te cae el sol en la espalda. Borda la tierra, borda la mar, para ganarte tu honrado pan.
Since our story began 2 decades ago, many things have changed in Isla Negra, except for one. Survival is still a daily struggle for most villagers. Francisca Yanca and her relatives live in this cluster of shacks right on the pebbly beach. The Yancas are seafood gatherers, and in the winter, when seafood is scarce, the families barely subsist. In the village, life for Narcisa Catalan is not much easier. Narcisa's husband is a mason. When summer vacationers leave, he and other men have a hard time finding jobs. Once the crops are in, farmers have even less chance for work. To save for the bare winter months, women like Narcisa have always helped out by washing, cooking, and cleaning for summer vacationers. But about 25 years ago, something good happened. Leonor Sobrino de Vera, a doctor's wife and a summer resident, decided to try to help the village women.
Yo llevaba 40 años yendo con mi familia.
I had been coming to Isla Negra for 40 years with my family for the summer, and so I really had gotten to know these women. But only when I began teaching them a home economics class did I realize they were so poor they couldn't even afford my basic recipes.
Señora Leo, as she's called by the villagers, decided a craft. Maybe weaving cloth might help the women make extra money. Weaving didn't work out, but it did lead to a discovery.
One day, one of the women brought me a badly woven piece of cloth. She had covered up her mistakes with embroidered flowers. I thought, why? She's a primitive artist. Maybe these women can draw.
Ella dijo que tenía una idea.
She told us she had an idea. She gave us each a piece of paper and a pencil and told us to draw something. Don't let your kids help you, she said. Make those drawings yourselves.
I told the women to bring the drawings the next week. 2 groups showed up. One was very happy, the other embarrassed. The happy women had copied their work. I turned those down.
She didn't like those ones. She liked the really badly made drawings.
But the women who had made the drawings for themselves had brought some of the most primitive pictures I had ever seen. No perspective, lopsided and distorted figures. I thought, what pure minds they have. What a treasure. Why, these women should paint.
Señora Leo set off for Santiago to buy some paints for the women to work with. But on her way to the store, something caught her eye.
Pasando un día por una donde venden lana.
Passing by a wool store one day, she saw beautiful wool of all different colors.
And I thought, why use paint? They are used to using needles and thread. Why not have them draw with wool?
She gave us wool, needles, and flour sacks. She told us we were going to have to work hard.
The tapestries didn't happen overnight. There was some experimenting.
Senora Leo took us to a pasture, picked a flower, and made us look at it closely. We all looked at it. That taught us something, because we had never really noticed colors or shapes before.
Not everyone believed in the tapestries right from the start.
When we started making tapestries, I thought, will we succeed?
Children laughed at the funny pictures. Husbands complained their socks weren't darned. In fact, some still complain.
I get angry at her at night. She stays up until 1 or 2 in the morning, till I say, no, you don't. Time to turn off the light.
But one thing kept them going. Someone believed in them.
Señora Leonor is so good to us. That's why God helps her. We had to keep going.
Slowly, the magic crept in and sparked the creative spirit. The women developed their own styles, and balanced, original, colorful tapestries began to emerge. It was 1969, and the Bordadoras of Isla Negra were born. That year, there was a first exhibit at the National Museum of Art in Santiago. For the women, this was an incredible event.
There were so many people, and they loved our work. They praised us a lot, and we sold all the tapestries.
Since then, exhibits have followed in Paris, London, Sao Paulo, Tokyo, Washington, D.C., and several other cities in the U.S. Today, Rosa Santander earns more from the sale of one tapestry than from several months of cleaning. The women's greater purchasing power and art fame has won them the respect of the community, and especially that of their men.
It's a great thing. I'm very happy about the tapestries. I didn't think anything would come out of all this, but it turned out to be something big.
They haven't changed a bit, but people have changed toward them. There's more respect for a woman who the Santiago intellectuals have praised as a great artist.
The villagers like to travel to nearby San Antonio for fresh produce and fish. Narcisa and sisters Ines and Tato Diaz say money from tapestries has made life easier. They can shop for better food and cook more nutritious meals for their families. In Isla Negra, more homes are going up. Leontina Vega's son and other children now go to high school, and some will go on to technical college in Santiago. But the magic has taken other paths as well. The sea town of Cartagena lies a few miles from Isla Negra. For Mercedes Espinosa, tapestries are a way of recapturing the old way of life. Mercedes likes to come to Cartagena for seafood. Long ago, she traveled here for supplies on horseback. The town's colorful houses and quiet bay are now a frequent inspiration. She is one of the few who recall the old customs, the feast of St. Peter's Day in the port of San Antonio, and the celebration of the yearly wheat harvest.
We didn't harvest like they do now with machinery. We had to do everything with our own 2 hands. People came from all over. We had grape cider, meat pies, and roasted a lot of meat. We ate and drank and danced lots of cueca.
Baking bread is a weekly occupation for Maria Luisa Alvarez and her daughters. She says embroidering has taught her the love of shapes and colors. Maria Luisa and her family live only blocks from the sea, but she prefers to stay near her grandchildren and her farm animals. Her favorite themes are her own flowers and chickens, often portrayed plump and ready for cazuela, a typical Chilean soup.
I notice flowers,
grasses, trees. I have them burned into my brain. What a ripe onion looks like, what a green one looks like. They're different. In pumpkins, sometimes they're green, other times yellow. I'm going to put green here because some chickens have green legs. I have a hen that has legs as green as a lizard's.
Tapestries for Teresa Ureta are a form of communion with God and nature. Teresa's happy with her life. A couple of years ago, she found Zurita. The couple take care of a country house and cultivate vegetables. While she goes about her chores, Teresa talks with God, thanks him for what she sees around her, and meditates on her next tapestry. These brilliant and mystical sunsets have given her fame, but it's religious works like this, Christ of May, that give her the most pleasure. Tapestries not only put food on Teresa's table, but also love in her heart.
I feel an enormous satisfaction that I'm doing what I want to do. I feel a great surge of love, happiness that it's turning out the way I want it to. When you embroider, you see the colors blending, taking on new life. You concentrate, and at the same time, you feel a great energy that grows and then spreads through your body. Sometimes that feeling is so great, I have to stop because it's too much.
Tapestries for Francisca Yanca are an escape into an ocean fantasy. Francisca grew up with the sound of the surf and the sight of her mother fearlessly diving into the foam to capture sea urchins and clams. Francisca's visible world spills over into her tapestries. Crabs and fish swim by, and fat seagulls and pelicans perch on undulating rowboats. Other underwater creatures, like mysterious octopi and whales seen from afar, she says, are her fantasy. Francisca's tapestries supplement her small income as a school cook, but they also give her life meaning.
When I come home from work and I pick up my tapestry, I feel much more relaxed. I am not so tired anymore.
Elsa Araya says tapestries fill an empty spot in her heart nothing else can fill. 30 years ago, Elsa adopted Isla Negra when she married Manyungo, a waiter at a nearby hostel. Elsa's work reflects her childhood in Sewell, a copper mining town high up in the Andes Mountains. White snow, brightly clad skiers, and enormous condors, Chile's national bird, are her trademark. Elsa has never been able to afford to keep one of her own tapestries. Neither have any of the other women. So much love goes into every stitch, she finds it hard to let them go.
When I sell a tapestry, I feel they're taking away a part of me with them. That always happens to me. I don't know why. But it hurts when they take it with them. I think maybe I've fallen in love with the tapestry I've made.
The chores over with, many bordadoras like to slip away to the woods to sip mate tea, stitch, and picnic together. At times like these, they often talk about Isla Negra, what a special place it is, how they can't bear to be away from it for a single day.
This place is really very beautiful. It's different from the other villages along this coastline. This part of Isla Negra, I don't know. I feel somehow that it's magic. It just seems so. Maybe it's because of the ocean and those huge waves.
Tapestries for Adela Ayala are a link to life itself. Famous for her sunflower tapestries, Adela is now racing the clock. Her family told us the doctors gave her only a few more weeks to live. Adela says embroidering takes her mind off her pain and disappointment at missing the weekly meeting at the wool house. Adela did not have time to complete her last tapestry. She's not the first of the Bordadoras to be buried here at Totoral, the village cemetery. But Adela's daughter did bring Adela's tapestry to the weekly meeting.
Mira, sin hacer absolutamente nada. Me parece muy bien.
Adela and the other Bordadoras have taken with them not only the memories of the old times, of festivities no longer celebrated in rural Chile, but a view of the world the younger generation no longer shares. Ironically, the improvements brought about by tapestry money could mean that this unique art will die out with the present generation. Young village women are not only more educated, they have other interests. They grew up with television and are lured to Santiago and better paying jobs. They have learned to live at a faster pace. Tapestries are born and grow slowly. They take many months, sometimes even a year, to complete. Many young married women have joined the group but admit they lack their mother's patience and dedication.
The older women have better ideas and are more original. They have their own style. We tend to copy them a little. Younger girls just don't want to embroider at all.
But the older Bordadoras have worries of their own.
Señora Leo always tells us, you have to learn to do things on your own. I might not be here in another year. So we are trying to learn more.
If Señora Leo wouldn't or couldn't help us, I, for one, don't think I could go on embroidering.
Chita cuando ponga la foto. Ya, ya. Chita.
But their mentor feels sure the group can carry on its own.
The women have a board of directors that they elect and have their own bank account. They work as a co-op, contributing a small portion of their earnings for wool supplies and only sell their tapestries through their president. They have learned to solve their own problems.
Yet, can this unique art withstand the changes brought about by time?
2 or 3 younger bordadoras who still have that same pure way of viewing the world. But what I see is that as long as what we call development, but is really education, and mass communication goes on, this unique form of art will begin to disappear.
Meanwhile, in this small hamlet, nestled between a restless sea and a placid countryside, life goes on, and dreams of magic wool continue to be created, stitch by stitch. Among the bordadoras, there are women like Francisca Yanca who have no fear of the future and who dare to dream. Francisca has a simple dream for her little granddaughter.
I hope she'll also embroider, that someday she'll also be a bordadora.
Cromáticas artesanas de la lana, paisajistas intuitivas de la vida, isleñas recolectoras del color, que hacen la vida como hacen su labor. Clava la aguja, tira la hebra, bordadoras de Isla Negra. Clava la aguja en la blanca tela, borda colores con los que sueñas. Siembra puntada sobre la falda, mientras te cae el sol en la espalda. Borda la tierra, borda la mar, para ganarte el honrado pan. Doña Leonor trae lana y esperanza, porque estas manos morenas no descansan.
Tardes de otoño, tardes de invierno,
bordan futuro, bordan recuerdos.
Clava la aguja, tira la hebra,
bordadoras de Isla Negra. Siembra puntada sobre la falda, mientras te cae el sol en la espalda. Borda la tierra, borda la mar, para ganarte el honrado pan. Apure doña Narcisa, doña Inés, que en la punta de su aguja salta un pez. Brilla una estrella, se abre una rosa, revolotea una mariposa, navega un bote, se hincha una vela, cantan las cuerdas de una vihuela. Siempre apuntada sobre la falda, mientras te cae el sol en la espalda. Borda la tierra, borda la mar, para ganarte tu honrado pan.